Over 90% of Google's billion-dollar income comes from pay-per-click advertising. Google has given every local business the ability to get new customers fast with some amazing new tools and strategies to find your target market online. Today's expert will take you through everything you need to know to leverage the power of Google AdWords to get more customers.
What is the biggest problem for chiropractors in Google AdWords advertising? The main thing that we find is that it's very difficult for chiropractors to implement a Google AdWords campaign. And this is what typically happens out there. They allocate a certain amount of money for Google AdWords and the funds are depleted and there's nothing happening. There's not even a phone call coming in. And but again, the good news is that if you do Google AdWords right, Google AdWords is going to be the fastest way that you can actually get new patients into your practice. And what we normally recommend is that you have a Google AdWords campaign side by side with your other campaigns like Facebook marketing and even SEO. And even your seminars out there, healthcare seminars. And what we have seen mainly is that, aside from issues with Google AdWords, is that most chiropractors just heavily rely on referrals. Don't get me wrong, referrals are good, and that's what everybody should shoot for, but without a solid marketing foundation, it is very hard for referrals to actually satisfy the patient inflow to a practice, particularly for a practice where there's more than one chiropractor. And if somebody's already getting a lot of referrals and they're actually doing something good as far as their marketing strategy is concerned. And in the absence of a good solid marketing strategy, I would actually recommend chiropractors to follow our 6R foundation. It's a framework and there's only 6 steps to it. And every step starts with the letter R, and that's the reason why it's called a 6R framework for momentum. And that's the first step. I'll be very quick about this. There's actually more explanation and more detail in the white paper we'll publish. It's available on our website, and I'll give that address to you later in a few seconds here. The first step is return on investment. There's the main thing with ROI is that every marketing activity should generate a return. And if there's an activity that's not returning something, not a new patient, for example, you should stop and reassess. In this particular case, if there's a Google AdWords campaign that's not giving you any new patients, then step back, something's wrong, okay? Analyze it. And then there's another thing that you want to look at. First of all, chiropractors need to look at their lifetime value of a patient. And sometimes they don't even know this, unfortunately, but it's actually fairly easy to do. Okay, for chiropractors who have the the long-term care contracts, then that's usually the amount of the long-term care contract. But for chiropractors who see their patients on an on-demand basis or as it goes, then it's the lifetime value of a patient is computed usually from the very first day of their service to the very end until they don't come back at all. And you need to get just at least an average value for that. And the other aspect of it, when you look at ROI, is you need to also find the average cost of acquiring a patient. And once you have these two values, lifetime value of a patient and then the average cost of acquiring a patient, then you can be more or less flexible with how much you spend out there on Google AdWords. And the second step in this framework is the word reputation building. You do need to build a solid reputation, not just online, but in the real world, because there's no escaping reputation. Reputation is even more important than SEO these days. And when you have a good solid reputation, when people come to your site, they will still actually research you. And if you have a 1-star review all over the place, even if you get 100 clicks or like 100 clicks, you would hardly be able to convert any of those, okay? And the third one is the reach. As far as Google AdWords is concerned, you could reach more of your target audience by using a variety of keywords. And again, you need to find out what the keywords are relevant to the phases of the buying cycle. The buying cycle is fairly simple. It's usually 4 phases. And the first one is, of course, the awareness of the problem. The second is the research. And then the third is the evaluation. And the fourth and final is the decision step. And you need keywords for each of them. And you need, in order to reach out properly too, you need content for each of these phases in the buying cycle. And the fourth step in this 6R framework is the rate of conversion. Once you have all these keywords available, you need to look into how much they convert, the percentage of conversion. You should initially shoot at least for a 1% rate of conversion, and you need to have a landing page, of course. Unfortunately, what we see out there is they don't have a landing page. And the fifth step is reactivation. When we talk to chiropractors about the reactivation, what normally comes into mind is reactivating old patients or past patients, which is good. You do need to reactivate past patients. But what I'm also trying to add here is that we need to reactivate, or actually constantly reactivate, people who have expressed interest in the service that have not yet become patients. Like, these are leads and prospects. And you do have to have a mechanism in place, and typically what you have to implement here is a lead capture and an email marketing campaign behind it. And the sixth and final stage is really the referral system. Like we said earlier, referrals are the sweet spot for any practice. And if you have done your 5 other phases or 5 other steps in the framework, then you would have a referral system that would be sufficient to fuel it. And what I would like to say is that we have an available white paper that gives more detail on the 6R framework. It's available on our website for download at www.pageonesearchenginemarketing.com. We are here to help because what we focus on is leading with value, because bringing value to the marketplace is what it's all about.
Interesting, isn't it? The right approach to online marketing will help you gain the trust of your potential customers and grow your business. It's pretty simple, isn't it? Now it's up to you. If you would like to know exactly how to put these strategies into action, our expert can be reached at the number on your screen. Until next time.